Hello everyone, I know that you were expecting Cindy Summit, but unfortunately she's currently under the weather. So I took it upon myself to ease her workload a bit by doing this induction for her. So without further ado, let's get started. Oh, and if any of you are thinking that I'm doing this because Cindy Summit has gotten lazy, then you've not seen her Facebook page from the past couple of months. And if that's the case, then you don't know Jack!
One thing was for sure. They both believe Sparks to be a total tool.
Be an exciting contest which shows that divorced couples can still have fun together, right?
Mythological hero H-list. C. On the spot dice spin.
We are experiencing technical difficulties. Please stand by.
Let's get some context out of the way first. You Don't Know Jack is a series of video games starting from 1996, appearing on various computer and video game platforms over the years. One of which me, Cindy, and our family thoroughly enjoyed. The You Don't Know Jack games contain a series of questions in a comedic game show style format with its own host. Its most common and recognizable of which is Cookie Masterson, whose reactions to your wrong answers is almost worth losing on purpose.
Suppose Jackson Pollock had become a sandwich artist at Subway. What would his supervisor have noted about his performance? Wastes time by precisely laying each vegetable, overuses the sauce squirters, insists on cutting bread at a 45-degree angle, or always shapes the... ham flowers. I so wanted you to pick this one. Pollock was a pioneer of the drip method, a style where forceful, rapid, and impulsive strokes of paint, were directly applied onto the canvas.
The game's format is a series of questions where every other question has its own style to them. Some are basic questions, while others have their own rules and presentation, examples of which being this or that, who's the dummy, so on and so forth. Leading up to the Jack Attack, where whoever has the most money at the end wins the game. Every episode was fun to play with your friends and family, and I highly recommend it if you haven't already. It is currently available in the Jackbox pack on consoles or on computer, whichever one you prefer. Now, with all the evidence that I just presented, you would think that it would be a pretty simple task to make a live-action game show out of this. All you would need is a similar format and host and a good budget and some proper network backing, and there you go. And ABC in 2001, they did, with You Don't Know Jack starring Troy Stevens. And we will soon come to see why this only lasted 6 episodes. Let's begin with the set, which is colorful and kooky, and it looks like the same kind of colors that you would expect from the video game. Whenever someone answers a question on the screen, it corresponds with whether they were right or wrong, adding a bit of flavor to the game. You can see that this show actually had a decent budget. And now we have the format, which is surprisingly similar to the original You Don't Know Jack game. Opening question round is worth $1,000, leading up to the this or that, where there are 2 answers and the contestants have to decide whether the subject fits one, the other, or both. Each right answer earns the contestant $1,000. Each wrong answer loses $1,000. It actually plays the same as the original. Then we enter into the second question round, worth $2,000 each, and the $2 million question.
The $2 million question!
You heard me right. The $2 million question. It starts with $2 million and the dollar value drops for every second that time goes by. Oh, and when I say time, I mean the reading of the question and a comedy skit that all but ensures that this question becomes useless to the contestant who answers correctly. And honestly, I find this a bit insulting to the contestants who took time to be there, and you dangle a gold bar in front of their face only to tell them that it's actually made of tin. I mean, you could have chosen any other You Don't Know Jack style question for this setup, and it would have been just fine. Celebrity Collect Call. ABC certainly had the connections, and heck, for the first episode, they had Regis Philbin on there. He was Who Wants to Be a Millionaire host at the time. Here, take a look.
The audience loves seeing other guys get rich. The more comfortable your guests are, the more likely they're going to win the big bucks.
Listen, Reed, you seem really busy. Let me let you run.
Did the new guy just hang up on me?
If you think this show is going to make anybody but me a millionaire, then you don't know Jack!
How apropos. Anyway, we'll get to him later. Let's finish talking about the format, which, to be completely honest, I didn't really have much of a problem with. Then there's the third question round, which often includes things that sound dirty but are not question. And then the third elimination question, which is an extended math problem with various bits of pop culture and trivia added in. And when they were given time to figure out this question, a distraction would show up that would try to mess with them. Whoever has the least amount of money at the end of this round is eliminated and is given the consolation prize. And at last comes the Jack Attack, which plays pretty much the same as the game. They're given a category and a series of words in sequence. Then, answers start pouring in and the contestants have to match the word to the answer based on the category. Every right answer wins $5,000. Every wrong answer loses $5,000. Whoever has the most money at the end of the game takes their money home, and the loser leaves with a consolation prize. And that's a large amount of money to give away in a game show. Heck, a person can easily win up to $25,000 and... Wait. In that footage, we saw a car. Whatever happened to it?
I told you somebody would be driving home in this new car.
What a cunt. And now we finally get to one of the bad things about the show, and that is the host, Troy Stevens.
We have 3 contestants tonight. Let's cheat them. Let's meet them now.
Our host, Troy Stevens, is played by Paul Reubens, famous for playing Pee Wee Herman and Mr. Cobblepot, the latter being more fitting in this case, because it sounds like someone trying to host, while trying to recover from the sedation that comes with wisdom teeth being pulled.
About Barney, something about Satan, or something about both. Get it right, win 1,000. Get it wrong, lose 1,000. Here we go.
I've been there. Not fun. It's just... he sounds like this throughout the entirety of the series run, and it's just boring. He just has no passion for this kind of work. Considering that they had a massive writing staff for most of the stuff that occurred on the show, you could easily switch out Troy Stevens, Paul Reubens, and nothing would have changed. Which leads me to my next question. Why wasn't Cookie Masterson the host of this show? They would have saved the budget, and honestly, if he had plenty of years of experience at the time... Oh, and don't think that it would be hard to get him, considering he's the show's announcer.
It's the show where high culture and pop culture collide like George W. in the English language. Here's Troy Stevens.
Cookie Masterson is wasted as an announcer in this show. And you can tell Cookie had more passion and charisma than Paul Reubens did. Here, have a listen.
Speaking of larynx, Cookie, why don't you use yours and tell us the scores?
Cat is totally annihilating the competition with $7,000. Valdemir is in second with $2,191, and Alex is avoiding complete embarrassment with $1,000.
If anybody had a problem with Cookie Masterson showing his face, then they could have easily gone the idiot savants or 20 question method of just having this big monitor that houses the mysterious and enigmatic Cookie Masterson. It's just, all we got is just this guy who's just doing it for the sake of a paycheck, which leads to the final death nail of this show: network interference and apathy. It's easy to see why this show flopped. It felt like summer burn-off fuel than anything with passion behind it. Combine that with barely any advertisement and no attempt to reach out to the series fan base, along with an addition of a host who does not care about the material presented and is simply looking for a paycheck, and it's clear that the higher-ups of the show had little to no faith in this show's success. You Don't Know Jack would breathe its last on July 18, 2001, after 6 episodes, ultimately either forgotten or never even known about for years, or, in the case of this induction, over a decade later. I remember watching this show when I was 10 years old and actually really enjoying it. Well, that was before I developed taste. Now seeing it nowadays, I can completely understand why Cindy completely abandoned this show. It has potential, it has the budget, and heck, it even has they were able to get Cookie Masterson in it. But there was just no passion behind the people creating it. There was no passion in the host to be found whatsoever. And you can see why this show was just a colossal train wreck. Well, thank you all for watching. This is Garrett Seidelman saying so long and fare thee well.